We're here, baby. Sunday. We made it to the weekend. Mock Draft Live is back.
Oh,
Matty
yeah.
Kiwoom, Matty Kiwoom on Twitter.
What
Cody
up?
Carpentier at Carpentier NFL on Twitter. Tonight we're back. Matty, how's your weekend going? Pretty
It's
good.
been a pretty good weekend. Pretty busy. You know, a lot of stuff with the kids. We did a nice little. This is what I would advise any parents out there with young children. Rainy day. They like the animals. You can't go to the zoo. Take them to your local Petco. They love the fish, the rabbits, the turtles. It's like a makeshift zoo, if you will. Perfect getaway. We did that yesterday. It was perfect.
All right, how many termites or animals did you come away with?
Absolutely zero. My wife even said that we went to lunch and she was like, watch us come away with then take home a hamster. And I was like, we are
I
not.
was
Plus,
gonna
my
go.
dog would sniff out any small critter. Might kill it.
I was gonna go hamster or guinea pig or fucking cricket or fish or something like that. I was like,
No, they had some guinea pigs. These things were massive, dude. These things are not little things.
rabbit. They
No,
have
they didn't have
rabbits
any
in there?
rabbits. No rabbits. A lot of aquatics. My wife did find a dead fish, though. It was kind of sad. It was just kind of
Oh,
like stuck in the bush. Kind of sad, but hey,
have
you know.
you ever I don't know if you got Tractor Supply up there. You around when they do the chicken
Oh yeah.
in the spring, the little chicks.
Oh yeah.
Those are the toughest, dude. Not I don't even got kids. Those are like having a wife is tough. She's like,
Yeah.
oh, we get some little chicks, and I'm like, you ain't about that life. I was like, when that thing gets big and it's a chicken,
It's
you know,
disgusting.
there's one or two things you got to do, and I don't think you want to do either one. It's like I'm about it. I'm cool with it, but
Yeah,
it's not
seriously.
exactly
Those things get big. They're
easy.
not cute little chicks no more.
It's not exactly easy to get a chicken in town, especially when you got a little dog that like would shred the fuck out of a chicken. But anyways, we're here Sunday night mock draft live. This is a little different mock. No rookie mock tonight, though we are going to be talking rookies. We have ourselves a little NFL mock draft.
Mm-hmm.
Put it up right here. NFL mock draft. All 32 teams. Fantasy only. As your boy Fat Fingers Fantasy. Fantasy only.
Fantasy only.
What's the rules here, Matty?
So we got all 32 teams. We're going to alternate picks, and we are going to put ourselves in the GM shoes. So we're trying to get NFL wins here. We're trying to get the best football team, but the draft only consists of fantasy relevant players, quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, and tight ends. So it's a little bit of this perfect marriage between a rookie draft in fantasy and the NFL rookie draft. So it's pretty fun. I can't wait. It's going to be tough, though.
We're going to alternate picks. So you're going to have Carolina. I'm going to go Houston. You're going to go Arizona. I'm going to go Indy. There's going to be no trades because that could get a little spicy, a little dirty. But I will say, if you look at our player list over here on the right, when we get down here, we're going to get down here.
Yeah.
And I don't exactly foresee us taking running back for these
Which is
teams
that's what makes this the most fun. Because if we did this like simply from a fantasy lens, we would just have a laundry list of running backs.
Exactly.
But now we got to get a little fancy.
But we're trying to win football games. So we're going to be starting probably with some quarterbacks, I would assume. But you got the number one pick. I mean, this might not be far off from the real NFL draft. Who's the 101 here?
So with the 101 as the team builder of the Carolina Panthers, I'm going to take Anthony Richardson. I know some people might be like, well, what about CJ Stroud? This is kind of how I see team building and the rookies this year. So there are two ways to put a successful, like championship caliber offense together. Either you have a quarterback that can elevate, take Stroud out of there. I didn't take Stroud. I took A-Rich, baby.
Oh, shit. Did I say
A-Rich? Rich, Anthony Mother F. Richardson. But there are two ways to build championship offenses around quarterbacks. One, you have a game manager plus, and you just shower him with weapons, a la Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts. Or you get that dude, that dog, that project that takes his entire team to the next level, like your Patrick Mahomes. Anthony Richardson is that type of guy. He might be a project, but he has the highest of ceilings. And let's face it, what do you need to go ahead and shower a quarterback, a game manager plus with weapons? Draft picks. The Panthers just sold the farm for the 101. They're not going to get a Jamar Chase next year. They're not going to get lucky like the Bengals did in that regard. They can't trade next year's round one for an elite wide receiver talent. So get the guy who can do it with his legs, who can do it with his arm, who can be a potentially transcendent type talent.
I love it. I love it. That was, I guess, my ears. I'm trying to produce and rip tweets on the, hey, come watch the show, and all of a sudden I'm just like, yeah, CJ Stroud. That's what he said, and I totally didn't even gauge it. But I love that pick, Anthony Richardson, obviously, because it's the Cam Newton element that you add in here. So send him to Carolina, see what happens. They're a team that's ready to win now. Now I'm on the clock with the 102, and I didn't foresee myself having the chance to take CJ Stroud. I don't really want to, but they're rebuilding, and they need a cornerstone piece that they can just set there and they can depend on for 4 years. I think that's what Stroud is. They're not trying to hit that home run right now because the team isn't ready to win. The weapons on the outside, we got a pick here coming up at number 12, where the opportunity is going to be there to snag a talented special player. Talented position player. So I'm going to take quarterback right here, and I'm going to go with Stroud, not because I like him, not because I love him, but because I think it's going to be a dependable piece that you can just put there at quarterback, and he's going to lead the offensive side of the football. CJ Stroud to the Houston Texans. I know his there's been some talk about his agent, David Mulligetta, who's got the same agent as Deshaun Watson, who just dealt with the Houston Texans situation, and there's thought that maybe Stroud won't go there. Again, this is a hypothetical mock with fantasy only players, and you took Richardson number 1. I'm taking Stroud 2 because I depend on him to be the cornerstone and just hold it down, a la Kirk Cousins, for the next at least 4 years, and then probably when he's a free agent, then Mulligetta will get his ass out of Houston. But
I think Stroud or Young does fit Houston because they do have assets. They do have the capabilities to shower a quarterback like that with a bunch of weapons. So I don't think they have to take the home run approach with a Richardson, where the Panthers, they don't really have weapons. They have a good line. They have a good defense. They need a quarterback that can elevate those around him and do things that most can't. And that's why I took A-Rich. So Stroud here would be a beautiful pick for the Houston Texans. Now I'm up here with the 103, and this is interesting because my brain immediately goes, Kyler's out for the year. Take a quarterback, figure out what quarterback you want to go with in 2024 and beyond later. But I'm not going to do that because it's clear that D-Hop is out. So I'm going to go ahead and draft Jackson Smith-Njigba. The Njigba and Hollywood Brown. I think that's a pretty dangerous 1-2 combo. You got a guy who can do a little of everything in Njigba, and then you got that straight line burner in Hollywood Brown. Once Kyler does come back, I think that would be a very formidable, very good a core offense.
Let's not forget about Rondale Moore, Trey McBride.
Yes.
There's talent there, and you come around the second round, you get a running back, you get a just build this unit. And Colt McCoy all of a sudden becomes like a top 15 fantasy quarterback when you get the weapons around him like this. Something like that, I guess. I don't know.
It could be. I mean, he's a game manager. He could stumble upon, a handful of decent games.
Yeah. I'm sitting here at the 104, and this one feels like it's pretty easy for me. They got weapons all around. They got Jonathan Taylor. They got Alec Pierce. Not that he's a weapon, but Michael Pittman, Isaiah McKenzie, Ashton Doolin, Jelani Woods. What are they missing? They're not missing a skill position. They're missing a quarterback, somebody to lead the team and take the top off the defense. Give me Will Levis. I think this one is actually out of all these picks today, I think this is one that's of the most likely to happen. We saw the news come out today that the Colts are very much in on Will Levis. We've only been saying this for the last month and a half. Due to Shane Steichen working with Herbert in LA and then working with Hurts in Philly. Levis kind of fits that same mold. He needs a little bit of work, but hey, it's there. And Will Levis, Indianapolis, not much needs to be said.
Absolutely love the Will Levis to Indianapolis. That's probably the one pick in the top 10 that's certainly grown on me. At first, I was like, hey, it might be a little risky. Maybe they could punt and kind of look to tank and go after one of these top guys in 2024. I think you go Will Levis here because I do think he has tremendous upside, and he does have weapons. There are weapons there in Indianapolis, and if they can bring in let's say Pierce doesn't work out. Alec Pierce isn't that guy. You could bring in another guy to work with Pittman. All of a sudden, you're truly cooking with gas because I think Pittman is a wide receiver one in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree.
This pick is tough here. This pick is tough, but I am actually just gonna take the easy route. I'm gonna go Bryce Young here.
Oh,
105.
I thought we were trying to win now.
Listen. They have another. I got another pick coming up. You're gonna be making the later pick for the Seattle Seahawks, so you're gonna help me out here later on. But Bryce Young is a great guy to learn. He's the game manager plus type that would benefit from learning from a Geno Smith. He would have weapons: DK Metcalf, Ken Walker, and Tyler Lockett. I thought about maybe sneaking a tight end this early because they could use, but no, Noah Fant's still an athletic freak and still has plenty in the tank.
So you don't think if Pete Carroll's sitting here in the clock in a fantasy only NFL mock or NFL draft that he's not going to take Bijan Robinson to pair him with Kenneth Walker?
Yeah, I could not rule it out. There's no way I could rule that out completely. But I mean, Jesus Christ, what are you going to do? A Bone City, the Bay City T offense? Is that what they're going to run? The wishbone?
I think they would. I think they rule out Geno and they take Bijan. They just roll Bijan next to Kenneth, and they'd say, you know what? Pick 20. We'll get Jake Hayner and we'll be good.
They throw the bag at the Georgia Tech head coach so they can just come run the triple option.
Yes. Yes.
Love it. Get the Navy guy in here. Let's go.
I love it. What did you say?
I took Bryce Young.
That's right. I completely tried to talk you off of it, and I forgot what you said after that.
So you talked yourself out of it, I guess.
I talked myself out of it. I was like, oh, just take Bijan Robinson. No. All right. So Bryce Young, the move over Geno Smith. Like it, don't love it. All right. So we're looking at the Detroit Lions now, and their quarterbacks that are available is Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker's not going to help you now. Look at the wide receiver positions. You got Jamison Williams. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown. You got Josh Reynolds there, it looks like. Tight end, Brock Wright. Running back, they just signed David Montgomery. There's a couple options that you can go here. Detroit also picks at pick 18. Now it begs the question, where's the depth at the draft? I think there's depth at the running back position. So I'm going to go wide receiver. And again, they have Amon-Ra and they have Jamison. So what are they missing? Size. Give me the size. I'm going with Quentin Johnson here, despite the definition of mid of a pro day for Quentin Johnson.
Oh my God.
6th overall here to the Detroit Lions. I like this fit because he gives Detroit a different dynamic in all three positions at the wide receiver. In the wide receiver room, Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and now Quentin Johnston. I think this is very interesting. What are your thoughts on, in the actual NFL draft? What do you think the capability is of them actually drafted in Quentin Johnston? Maybe it's not at 6, but maybe it's at 18 if he falls to 18.
I don't think Quentin Johnston did enough in his pro day to get teams to get more aggressive in their scouting. And I haven't heard enough of a drumbeat with the Lions linked to Quentin Johnston.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to go offense with either of their picks. If one of the big four quarterbacks falls to them at 6, I think that's absolutely a possibility, especially an Anthony Richardson or a Will Levis, someone who could take that back seat for a year and truly get the upside on the back end. I think they could go that route, but I think they go back-to-back defensive picks here in the first round in the NFL draft because I think that makes the most sense. And they are a team like a couple of really good picks. Let's just say that they have the type of draft that Seattle did last year in terms of bringing in high-end defensive talent. This team has every bit to win the North this year.
I like that. But this is fantasy only, so we don't play defense around here. So Quentin Johnston goes 6. In the real NFL draft, his current ADP is 19.3 per the NFL Mock Draft Index on playerprofiler.com. Make sure you go over to playerprofiler.com. Top of the screen, the NFL Draft section has the NFL Draft order, the NFL Mock Draft Index, the NFL Draft Big Board from yours truly, and you can get that, and you can get everything at playerprofiler.com getting the all-in package using the promo code LOUNGE, LOUNGE. Support both of your boys, Matty and Cody, as we have the Players Lounge that comes out by right now once a month, and you can use the promo code LOUNGE to support both of us. So
get excited, Cody. We're recording one soon. We're recording the next episode real soon.
Soon.
Very
maybe
excited.
down in Tampa
Bay. You and Brady? Brady?
Get a little, hey, don't be giving away our guests.
Oh, Mike Evans?
Little Kyle Trask?
Ooh, Baker. Definitely Baker. We could bro out Baker.
We could probably call Anthony Richardson, have him drive down.
No, that would be fire.
That would be pretty
I
sick.
just took him
All
with the
right,
101. He's got to be loving it.
you're
So
back on the clock here, 107 with the Las Vegas Panty Droppers.
this is a super tough route to go because I want to go quarterback, but I don't know if Hendon Hooker's that guy. I don't know if I'm ready to take him here. I do believe this is the team that's going to move up to 3 to take Anthony Richardson. That is what my gut is telling me. What will happen before the end of the month at the draft that we'll both be at, by the way. Damn, we're going to see a lot of each other this month. I can't wait. I'm going to go a little offbeat here. I'm going to go with my number 1 tight end, the number 1 tight end in our rankings, Michael Mayer. Austin Hooper, boring. Don't care about you. OJ Howard, boom, you are one of the biggest disappointments in my fantasy life. And then obviously we're all rooting for Foster Moreau, all the stuff he's going to be dealing with off the field. We're going to be rooting for him wholeheartedly. So I hope he comes back. But we got Michael Mayer to come in right now and help that offense. And now, I mean, what an offense we're talking about here.
As soon as you brought up Las Vegas, I go, one person I know would make this offense better, because when you look across the wide receiver position, it's pretty set. It's pretty set in stone. I like where it's at. Obviously, they just signed Jimmy, and all the big quarterbacks are off the board right now. If you don't go Hooker, I think tight end was the only other spot, because they got Josh Jacobs, and we know they have Zamir White waiting in the wings. So I like this selection of Michael Mayer. I think you know who else? I think Musgrave might have honestly been, that would be my only argument, would just to defer tight ends. But I think regardless, both of these guys would fit well in here, because they call Michael Mayer Baby Gronk, and Josh McDaniels coached Gronk for a little while. And Luke Musgrave's got a little more athleticism, which kind of fits into that Darren Waller scheme of things. But I like Mayer here. I think he deserves to be a top 10 pick in this NFL mock draft.
Let's go.
Good selection. Now I'm on the clock with the Atlanta Falcons.
Ooh, the Dirty Birds.
They got Taylor Heineke, so they got some depth at quarterback, so I'm not so worried. I know Hendon Hooker's clearly the next best quarterback on the board. Receiver, though, after Drake London, can you name their number 2 wide receiver?
They just signed him, Mac Hollins, correct?
Pop quiz. Who's number 3?
Is it my boy Alameda?
Scotty Miller.
Oh boy, Scotty Miller.
So good dudes, right? Mac Hollins, Scotty Miller, good 4s and 5s, good 4s and 5s.
Yeah.
Not good 2s and 3s. Not good 2s and 3s. So
really helping Desmond with that.
We need a number 2 to play inside of Drake London. So let's stay at USC just for this one to make it fun. And let's bring on Jordan Addison to the Atlanta Falcons. Let's put Jordan Addison on the Atlanta Falcons, a monster 1,500-yard season back in 2021. Bring him to Atlanta, pair him up with Desmond Ridder, pair him up with Drake London, pair him up with Kyle Pitts, and all of a sudden you got a scary trio of dogs in Atlanta, and I think that would make a scary offense. So I'm going to go with Jordan Addison.
This is how I know that Arthur Smith has no fucking clue with what he's doing, because here at 8, this should be the loudest drumbeat all throughout the season, the rookie season. Receiver. This is the perfect freaking class to pair up Addison, Zay Jones, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. These 3 guys would be tremendous additions to what they're building offensively. And if you really cared about Desmond Ridder taking that next step, you would shower him with weapons. He would be the perfect type of receiver to go to this team. And the fact that you haven't heard peep of them scouting receivers shows you that Arthur Smith he's not going to be long for the Atlanta Falcons head coaching gig.
I like what Kevin brings up, though. He says, Bijan to the Falcons, then trade for Lamar. That would be disgusting.
That would be fun. Yes, that would be absolutely fun there. But I think just trading for Lamar, you don't have to get Bijan. That still would be fun.
That would be disgusting, bro.
Yeah,
and then
that
you
would
just
be
have
fantastic.
You just have Tyler Algier as a plotting extra. All right, we're through 8 picks here. We're about a quarter of the way through. Remember to click that subscribe button here on the Player Profiler YouTube channel. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Friday nights at 7:30 p.m.
Yes,
Mock Draft Live. We have many guests, many of which are analysts at playerprofiler.com, from Aaron to Seth to me to Matty to Dario to Jason to whoever else comes on, Jack, Podfather. We'll see what happens, but we're going to keep these mocks rolling for the course of the next probably at least 6 weeks. And not only will we keep going, but we're also going to be going, we're in Kansas City. I can't wait, my boy. I cannot wait. I saw one comment in the chat from our man, Harry Snowman. He brought up the executives. He said, the executives are in the house. I saw it here a minute ago. And
Yep.
I wanted to remind you to go over to patreon.com/executives because April 1 was yesterday and we just did a rebrand of Patreon. And my man Matty Kiwoom joined. So there's going to be much new content coming out, including we just dropped the executives, the first episode of the behind the scenes executives show between me and Matty Kiwoom on patreon.com/executives. Tomorrow we'll be dropping our quarterback rankings for the cornerstone, which is last year's class, this year's class, and next year's class. And then Wednesday we'll be talking about it on the Patreon. So make sure you come in and tap on over there because there's much more things coming that weren't there over the course of the last 6 to 8 months, but will be coming because of the my friend Matty Kiwoom joining
Tag team partners, the tag team champions of the world. Let's go. The
executives.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm
There we
up
go.
with the 109. And yeah, I love Khalil Herbert. Very efficient runner. But come on. Deontay Foreman. I think he could be a very sneaky sleeper if they do nothing in the draft at this position. But let's call it what it is. They aren't game changers, and there is a game changer on the board. With the 109, I will be selecting Bijan Robinson. All of a sudden now you truly have a 3 down workhorse back to go with Justin Fields, DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Chase Claypool, Cole Kmet. This offense now is cooking with absolute gasolina.
I'm surprised you did this. I'm actually a little bit shocked you put Bijan there, but I do like it.
Where'd you think I was going to go with it?
I thought you'd go receiver. I thought you'd give him Himothy.com. I thought that, they have DJ Moore. Mooney's good. Chase Claypool's a question mark. I thought you'd give him Himothy.com and let him go there and make this a just unblockable trio, and then they can move Claypool to tight end or something like this, hypothetically. But I do like Deontay's got his own injury problems, but he seems like he's healthy. Khalil Herbert, we thought was going to be the dude. Putting Bijan next to Justin Fields, it's kind of similar to saying, Bijan next to Lamar Jackson. Bijan next to Justin Fields is pretty fucking scary.
Yes, that would be absolutely disgusting.
Now we go to Philadelphia, where I would argue that you just kind of sniped me because I think that would have been the
Bijan
dime spot.
That's the holy grail landing spot is Bijan at 10
in this format. Eagles. In this format, him falling to me at 10 is beautiful.
Yeah.
So now the question is, do I go running back here or do I hold off and go running back with the later pick, which is 31? Because I know there's depth.
Who would be there, though? That's the thing.
I know there's depth. And, yeah, that's the problem is who's going to be left because that's 21 picks from now.
Mm-hmm.
Or I get my choice right here. But as much as I love Quez Watkins, I'm going to replace Quez Watkins with this pick.
Okay.
I think I have to do it. Got to go Zay Flowers.
Ooh. So now we're going snipe for snipe. You snipe me, I snipe you, you snipe me.
That's what we're doing. Zay Flowers goes to Philadelphia, plays with Devonta Smith, A.J. Brown. Does he not fit like amazing in this wide receiver room? You got A.J. Brown, who's a complete fucking menace. You have Devonta Smith, who all of a sudden is taking on this Slim Reaper, thing of his own, and he's becoming a dog with right before our eyes. And then you just bring in Himothy, and I think you have a scary, scary trio that's going to be there for at least the next 5-6 years. As much as we talked about Zay Flowers dominating throughout the entire process, he now was the 4th receiver taken in this format. Kind of shocking to me.
Zay Flowers to Eagles would be so awesome for Eagles fans, so terrible for us fantasy managers, because I think he's Quez Watkins in terms of his probably downfield playmaking ability, but he's way more than that in terms of what he can provide in totality for this offense. I think he would take a little piece of that pie from DG, from AJ Brown, and from Devontae Smith. But you're talking about unlocking God mode for Jalen Hurts.
The 4.42 speed, throw him up in there. I know he's not as fast as Quezzy, but I think that would just be lethal.
So here I am now at the 111. I could go a few different routes, but again, I'm not ready to go Hendon Hooker here. The receivers are still very good, and I think that they need them badly. Zay Flowers matching him up with Treylon Burks would have been my dream. Would have been something I would have went to bed sleeping like a baby after making that pick. Now it comes down to what do I go? I was either thinking Kayshon Boutte. You know I love me some Jalen Hyatt. But I'm going to go with Josh Downs here because I love the fit with Treylon Burks. Treylon Burks, he wasn't necessarily a volume receiver. He did a lot, in Arkansas, he took a lot of screens to the house. He was a go route type of guy. He didn't do everything that's kind of diverse in terms of his skill set. Josh Downs is that type of guy who can do multiple things on a football field in terms of getting open back-to-back 1,000-yard receiving seasons at North Carolina. I think that would be a very good receiver to pair with Mr. Treylon Burks. You got a big dog and a little dog, but they're both dogs.
They need speed. They need the speed. They just lost speed. Robert Woods. They tried to fit in there. And then last year, of course, we saw the bevy of terrible talent that they had from Cody Hollister to Nick Westbrook to Chris Conley. It just didn't work and didn't work and didn't work. To make Treylon work, you need to have another player there, as well as, who knows what they do at the quarterback position, whether they go with Malik, whether they trade for Lance, whatever it is. You got to have some weapons, and Josh Downs, I think, helps you take that first step. Now we're back on the clock at 12. C.J. Stroud was the quarterback. We got Dameon Pierce there. Got Nico Collins. Can I fill in this receiver room with a little bit of talent now that we're down to the Cedric Tillmans, the Kayshon Bouttes, the Jalen Hyatts of the class in comparison to Noah Brown, Robert Woods, and John Mechie? Or do I fill in that running back position, which I don't really want to take a running back right here. So I think I'm going to go wide receiver. And innately, I'm going to go for speed because they have Nico Collins, who's a big body. And they have Robert Woods, who I think might be on his last leg, but they got John Metch, who can also do the underneath stuff. So I'm going to go for speed. And I think speed only defines one person in this upper quartile of players. And I don't love him, but I know that one person that I admire in the draft space, the NFL draft space, does like speed. And his name is Jalen Hyatt. And he's also from Houston. That's Lance Zierlein, who has Jalen Hyatt as his wide receiver 1. We're going to put Jalen Hyatt in Houston at 12. Paired up with C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, Dameon Pierce, and we're going to roll with it.
This specific, type of draft that we're doing probably screws the Texans the most because in the NFL draft, they're probably going to have their chance to take the number 1 available receiver, if not the second. But here, they're going to have to dig a little deeper. But still, Jalen Hyatt makes a whole lot of sense pairing him up with C.J. Stroud, who's shown tremendous ball placement. He would now have someone who could go get it in Nico Collins. He would have he would have a burner on the field in Jalen Hyatt. So I do think that is putting together a nice little receiver room for the young quarterback in Houston.
Roll with it. Let's roll with it. Now you're on the clock with the Jets. Jets.
So the Jets are kind of talent rich. They're missing that quarterback, but we all know Karen Rodgers will be on the New York Jets soon enough. Breece Hall, Michael Carter, even Bam Knight loads that running back room. Don't need anything there. Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, Mecole Hardman, Corey Davis. Could I, grab one of these receivers? None of them necessarily screams a fit here for me personally. So I'm actually going to go back to the tight end position, and I will take Luke Musgrave here, the guy with a little bit burner speed. It was either Musgrave or Kincaid, but the fact of the matter is, and I think it was you that tweeted this a couple weeks ago, we haven't seen a guy be hurt throughout the entire process and just keep going up in value. Something's wrong, and I'm not really into it. I don't know exactly what we're going to get out of him early on in his career, so give me Musgrave.
I don't. That's the thing. The Kincaid thing to me, I think we talked about this multiple times. It doesn't make any sense. It's crazy too because you took Musgrave here, but like I saw somebody was talking a couple weeks ago about if Kincaid's there at 13, run the card up, and it's like we're in a fantasy only, and Kincaid's not going 13 because
right.
And this is one where you feel like there's either something you're missing as far as the NFL has medicals that they're confident in, or you're galaxy braining it so far past where it should be, or you're actually right. Where and obviously in the current state, I feel like I'm right about the Kincaid thing about being it too hyper. Like, yes, I understand he's a good wide receiver. He's very good route runner, et cetera, et cetera. You can go on about his talent. But the back injury, how many times have we seen a guy with a back injury?
Mm-hmm.
A fucking back. It's not a knee. It's not an ACL that's just getting repaired. Like even like Hendon Hooker. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, he's getting pushed up. He's getting respected. He's probably going to get drafted in the first round. But it's like a back injury. That is, he's continued to push off doing anything. It's just it's scary to me, and it's not something that I would like to bet my money on. So as much as the talent is there for Kincaid, I'm a little pushed off.
Yeah, I don't know how you can't be pushed off, especially that position, right? Tight end, you're blocking, you're running routes, you're expected to do so much, and you need your back for all of it.
All right, we're sitting here at pick number 14.
As a Patriots fan, I'm excited to see where you go here. I am.
The New England Patriots just got Mike Gesicki. So they got Gesicki and Hunter Henry now as their dominant duo at tight end. They have Ramondre Stevenson and James Robinson. They got Devontae Parker. They got speed with Tyquan Thornton. They got Kendrick Bourne, who's still there, Mr. Touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster. Do you know who they have behind Juju Smith-Schuster right now? I might have to go buy a couple shares of this guy in Dynasty because I thought he was I didn't think he was on a roster.
No, who'd they bring?
Lynn Bowden.
You're gonna blow him. Oh yeah, they grabbed him last year and they threw him on the practice squad.
Yeah, I forgot that he was on a roster.
Yeah,
that's on me. Like that's a jackass by me. But like, that kind of excites me because he's just kind of gonna get. Now he's got Juju in front of him, so I'm gonna go running back here. I'm gonna piss off a lot of Patriot fans that care about Ramondre in fantasy. I know Billy Muzio's got him like a top 7 or top 5 for 2023. I'm gonna go ahead and do this thing called a Jahmyr Gibbs, and this is gonna be your maximum, your hyper James White right here.
Yes, it would be. So James White wasn't James White. James White was created by Tom Brady. Correct. This is actually James White.
I like that. Say that again.
Tom Brady created James White when he was drafted. Out of Wisconsin. He was not a pass catching savant. Tom Brady created him in his own TB12 lab. But Jahmyr Gibbs is James White from the jump.
I like that. I like that a lot.
You bring me around here a million times, I'm gonna hit once in a while.
That's a dinger. That's a dinger.
Ding! Let's go. And now I am up with the 115. This right here is probably one of my favorite picks that I will have tonight because there are so many different ways I could go. I could go receiver. I could go tight end, even Dalton Kincaid in this offense. Ooh, I would love that.
What about Hendon Hooker?
For Green Bay?
Yeah.
No fucking way. Jordan Love's going to be good. I'm in on Jordan Love this year. I'm grabbing Jordan Love all late. He's my late round QB in one QB format seasonal leagues, no doubt.
But I'm just saying.
No. Jordan Love's the guy. Hendon Hooker will never be Jordan Love's upside. Never.
Ooh, really?
Never. No, he won't.
Ooh, quote that.
They're the same age, right? How old? Let me pull this up.
They might.
Hendon Hooker is
32
years old.
Love might be. I think Love is younger.
Hendon Hooker, I know for a fact, is in his 20. He's younger because Hendon Hooker, I know for sure, is at least 25.
I was gonna say he's 25-1. I think Love is 24-4.
Yeah, so Love is younger. Love's got 74th percentile speed, 87th percentile burst score, and he does have the arm. People who were down in Mobile in 2020 saw that this kid had the arm. He's got the size, and in that small little window, that little shopping window, that little preview we saw against the Eagles, he looked good. He had zip on his ball. I believe in Jordan Love. I think he will be good in football.
Can you just give me a quote? Can you say Jordan Love is the next Patrick Mahomes?
Jordan Love, there is no next Patrick Mahomes, but Jordan Love, I do think has the upside to be a Jalen Hurts type of player. Not with the rushing, but with the fantasy overall production. Will rush enough, but he won't give you that crazy upside. So
I tried to talk you off of it. I tried to talk you off of it. Now the Green Bay Packers, who are they giving Jordan Love for talent around him?
So they got speed. Their wide receiver one's got speed. Their wide receiver 2 is a bowl of dog water. Romeo Dubes is not what they need to help Jordan Love get to that next level. This guy, they might have a chance at him in later rounds. So I could see this being a match made, but I'm going to go with Marvin Mims here. You got that 4.38, 94th percentile 40-yard dash, 91st percentile burst. You put him with Christian Watson, there is just a crazy amount of speed. And like I said, Jordan Love's got that canyon.
I like it. And now I'm going to, gosh, this could be a spot where I think Kayshon Boutte right here. I'm going to sprint. I can't even say the goddamn. I'm going to sprint to the podium for Kayshon Boutte because I think you put him in the slot instead of Jahan and Terry McLaurin, and I think you completely elevate the game of Sam Howell in this offense along with the running backs, of course. I don't want to completely nuke Brian Robinson by like giving them Roschon Johnson and just saying Roschon Antonio Gibson, because if I did that, the player profiler would have to like buy shares in Washington, in the Washington Commanders. We have to get on. We have to join this like $6 billion investment deal. We have to join. We'd have to if they drafted Roschon and paired him with Gibson.
We got a Canadian. On the roster. That's the guy who's buying it, right? Like some Canadian gajillionaire.
Yeah, I think we have to give him like a couple bucks and just get our names on there or something. Player profiler owns like 0.0000000000001% of the Washington Commanders. Hey, we got to do it for Roschon and Antonio Gibson. But I'm going Kayshon Boutte here at 16th overall because I think, like I said, he fits right in there. We heard some rumblings at the combine that Curtis Samuel will not be on the roster at week 1. But hey, here we are. Also, Andy Coxsicki at Bills Mafia. This mock is horrendous. This is called a fantasy only mock. So I appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah, this is a fun mock.
We'll be at the Bills here in a minute. It's April 2nd.
He's like, where's all the linemen? Where's all the quarterbacks?
Buffalo's going to be right here, and I can promise you we're going to draft a quarterback to replace Josh Allen because he's hot garbage. So sorry, Andy Coxsicki.
Randy Coxsicki.
Appreciate you tap it in here for the Bukkake, but that's all we got on you. 17th overall here, Pittsburgh Steelers, Matty Kiwoom. Where are you going?
Oh, see, if I want to ruffle feathers, I would go Hendon Hooker because I do not believe Kenny Pickett will be a winning quarterback in the NFL. But there is enough of a hole that I'm actually not going to go that route because I don't know if Hendon Hooker's upside is all that much more than Kenny Pickett. In all honesty, here. What you've kind of talked me into throughout the entire draft process is that they could use a good slot player. They could use someone in the slot here. Do you think? I know Deontay Johnson's kind of a flanker, but can he move to the slot? Do you think? I mean, he's a volume type receiver.
Yeah, I would move Deontay to the slot. That'd be my preferred position for him, to be honest with you.
Okay, so with that said, I've got the card now filled out because that made my decision a hell of a lot easier. With that, I am going to take Rashee Rice here because you would now have DJ to be my slot guy, get all those catches in the middle, and then you would have two big dogs on the outside jumping over fools, doing Randy Moss contests during the games, and George the Goon Pickens and Rashee Rice. So I like this pick here. I'm going to shift DJ in the middle, and this is going to create my Monstar outside.
All right. As much as I don't love Darnell, he's down my board at tight end. I'm going Darnell Washington at 18. I talked about going running back, but I'm going Darnell Washington because I'm going to put him at tight end in the same room as Brock Wright and James Mitchell. And I think you have this. Look at this talent right here. Quentin Johnston, Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Darnell Washington, DeAndre Swift, David Montgomery. That might be the most talented.
Yes, that's insanity.
Is that the most talented core in football right there?
It's definitely most talented core. It's in the upside on it is insanity. It really is. And then you're talking about, let's just say they can bring in a quarterback that's not Jared Goff. If they could get their hands on an upside guy, I don't know, Lamar Jackson, who's available.
Ooh,
holy shit. And I think this might be a bold take here, but I think out of all the tight ends available, I think Darnell Washington is the best fit for the Detroit Lions, and this is why. They didn't utilize TJ Hawkinson in a way that they could have. That's not their mold. They like someone like Darnell Washington because he's an elite blocker, but he could be a red zone goon. And I think that mix for the Detroit Lions is exactly what they need.
It just gives them a player in every quadrant of the field. You
Just
give like
unstoppable players. I mean,
you have every
unstoppable
type.
players.
You have every player type. You have your satellite in Swift. You have your grinder in Montgomery. You got your monster in the middle at tight end with Darnell. Then the other side in the slot, you can put a Monroe or you can put JMO. You got your speed with JMO. You got your size with Quentin John. Like you literally have everything. There's not a spot on the field that you're missing except for quarterback. Trade the 24 pick and the 25 pick after this draft, get Lamar, and then it's like Detroit Lions minus 5,000 to win the Super Bowl.
Dude, minus 5,000. It took a second for my brain to go, oh shit, that's hilarious.
Lock it in.
5,000. Holy cannoli. Yeah, that would be fun. And you know what? Detroit fans, you deserve it. You've had an absolute shit run at it for so long here. So that would be, I'd be happy for you there. Now I'm up with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers pick and the 19th pick. And my brain went, let's go running back here because Rachaad White, he's
what the fuck?
Wait, I'm not done. But Rachaad White, 48th out amongst qualified running backs at yards per touch, 65th true yards per carry, 35th in yards created per touch, 47th dominator rating, 36th in juke rate. He's not as good as people think, but let's give him the volume and let him try it. He does have the skills. He is fast. Best comparable player, David Johnson. So I do think he has a good upside without Leonard Fournette in the picture. So I'm not going to go running back. I am going to go Hendon Hooker here. I think sneakily, Hendon Hooker to the Buccaneers might make more sense in the NFL draft than it does here. His best comparable player, Geno Smith. Imagine Geno Smith with the pass catchers. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, what they could build there in Tampa around him. Obviously Rachaad White is good at the running back position. Cade Otton showed that he's a pretty good tight end. I like Hendon Hooker here, and I think he's absolutely on their radar for the Buccaneers. People keep saying Will Levis is going to be there. Dream the fuck on. Will Levis will not be there. But I think Hendon Hooker to the Buccaneers is a sneaky pick in the real NFL draft. Hey, dude, my wife watches this. Mad scientist, don't do that.
I'm with Harry Snowman. I really like Hooker to the Bucs, and I didn't thought about it until you just said it. I think there was a mock that came out the other day that had Levis falling this far. I don't think he falls this far,
not
but
even
also
close.
I think this is the range where you start looking at Hooker, and the next pick, Seattle, in the real NFL draft, I think is where Hooker does become a conversation. Tampa is very interesting because they're one spot ahead of Seattle. Damn. How many games over under here? How many games would it take Hendon Hooker? This is for a quote. This is we'll take a quote for 500, Alex. How many games would it take Hendon Hooker to overtake Baker Mayfield?
When is he healthy and ready to rock? Hendon Hooker.
That's what I'm saying. You tell me.
Well, I'm saying like his knee. When's his knee? When is he ready to go?
I don't know. Training camp.
So if he's there practicing with the lads,
full practices. Let's say he makes the training camp and he's moving around, and then he's doing full practices by like week 2.
Full practice by week 2. He's in by Halloween. Hendon Hooker's their starting quarterback by Halloween.
I like that.
Now, if you're saying he's practicing with the lads, playing preseason games, he's a starting quarterback before October 1st.
Ooh. Hey, that's a real world, dude. You kind of stumped me on this Tampa pick because I really like that.
Yeah, I think we could see that there. I mean, listen, Mike Tannenbaum was off his freaking rocker having Hendon Hooker go 5th to the Seahawks. But when we were talking about it behind the scenes, you made a great point. I think he just wants people to know that the NFL likes this kid. Mm-hmm. And he was just going hyperbole so that people knew. I don't think Hendon Hooker falls out of the first round.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying was the Tannenbaum thing. I think the best way to define it is he's not going 5, but nobody is still to this day, nobody's mocking him. I look at the mock draft index right now that you updated. Hooker 48.8.
Mhm.
Like nobody's giving him the respect of being a first round pick. I've been talking about 37, 35 in that area because I think that makes sense. I then he goes 5. It's like, okay, that should push everybody.
Mhm.
Every mock going forward should have Hendon Hooker inside the top 32. And that's like just straight up. Don't like use your fucking brain. That's my thoughts on that one. You know, he's not 5, but he deserves 100% to be in round 1. Appreciate you, Andy, as well. We're just talking shit as well.
Yeah, we're just
Appreciate you
having
hitting
some
that
fun.
thumb. Click that like, click the subscribe if you are hanging out, hanging in. Andy, shout out to you as well. Seattle back on the clock. They took Bryce Young at 5th overall, a la Matty Kiwoom, because he doesn't trust Geno Smith. So now we have Geno Smith playing offensive coordinator for the Seattle Sea Chickens. We have Kenneth Walker and DJ Dallas at running back. My one question, my one need, I think, is replacing D. Eskridge, because D. Eskridge, after 2 years, is now pushing 28 years old, I think, and has done shit at all. So we're going to take a wide receiver here, and he goes by the name of Parker Washington.
Oh, interesting. I can't wait to hear this analysis. He might be the least talked about receiver prospect in the entire class.
I think that Parker Washington is 100% the least talked about player. I don't even know if we've talked about him very much. I'm going to pull up my analysis on him quickly just so I can give you my pure breakdown, and I don't want to talk jargon out of my ass crack. Let's see. Bring it up here. Parker Washington had him best comparable to Golden Tate. I think he's smooth near the line of scrimmage with great yak ability, grit off the first tackler. He's targeted often within the first 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. I think that's why I like him, because I think you could move Tyler Lockett inside, put Parker on the outside of Tyler, and of course you have DK on the opposite side. But I think that Parker moves around great. He had 219 targets in 3 seasons at Penn State, and I think he has great awareness and body navigation. I think it's almost on the elite level. Not quite sure why he's been getting pushed down so far. His athleticism is warranted. He's 5'9", 204 pounds, so he kind of fits the archetype. We talk about 5'11", 6 foot, 200 pounds. He's 5'9". So I like where we're at with Parker Washington. Now, like doing drafts like this is why, when we talked about doing this, I was like, I like this, because now is when we get down to pick 20 to 32 is when we're going to start having to talk about guys we haven't talked about. And I think that's what makes it fun. So Parker Washington to the Seattle Sea Chickens. I like this fit in general. So I'm going to go with it here at 20.
Okay. I'm glad you brought him up. This is someone we've touched upon briefly, but I think this would be a nice fit here for the Chargers. Still think Jalen Hyatt is the pick if he's available. If not, obviously, Jackson Smith-Njigba is the home run, but I don't think he's going to be there. Love Jalen Hyatt there, but since Jalen Hyatt is gone in this exercise, I kind of have to go with maybe the Jalen Hyatt arbitrage pick, if you will, and give me Trey Parker. Give me the guy 6 feet 192 who was dominant in college, 46% college dominator rating, 4.33 40, 107.7 speed score. So that's 88th percentile, and laser rocket arm with Justin Herbert. I want the burner. They clearly missed Jalen Guyton more than anybody would have suspected. So go ahead and get the guy that can replace that role and get Trey Palmer.
I'm going to go ahead and sprint to the podium and take Dalton Kincaid to add to the stat. Just kidding.
You know what? Baltimore's fucking everything up. They might as well fuck this pick up too.
We're just gonna go 4 tight, and we're just gonna roll out. Okay, Harry Snowman gave us a little Hendon Hooker update. Towards ACL in November, received positive medical reports here in Indy.
Okay,
he's 3 months after the operation and on track to be ready for the season opener.
So before October 1st, he would be the starter over Baker Mayfield.
Before October 1st, he'll be the starter over Baker Mayfield.
If he's practicing with the lads early on in the summer, yeah. Per Ian Rapport, March 4th, Harry Snowman says yes.
I like it. What I don't like is tight end going to Baltimore here. They have J.K. Dobbins. They got Gus Bus. They just brought back Justice Hill. We know that's an undercovered mother trucker. Love that. Also, Mad Scientist says starts over Baker by week 2. Wolf daddy.
With the first round capital, with first round draft capital, he could be the guy out of the gate. It's possible.
What are we missing when I bring up Rashad Bateman, Devin Duvernay, Nelson Aguilar, Andy Isabella, Tylan Wallace, and James Prochet? What are we missing? What do none of those guys have?
Talent? No, I'm just kidding. I love Shoddy B, but after that, he's got a bunch of sprinters there, a bunch of wind sprinters.
All right, but I'm between Cedric Tillman and Michael Wilson here. I'm going to go Cedric Tillman just because one, I know the NFL loves Cedric Tillman, and I think Cedric Tillman, is going to be a guy that we should be more eyes open. We talk about Hendon Hooker. Our eyes need to be more open to him going in the parts of round 2. He's currently best comparable to Zach Pascal on PlayerProfiler.com. He's 6'3", 213 pounds. He's almost 23 years old. I think Cedric Tillman's more of an Elshon Jeffrey type of a receiver. Great catch radius just due to his sheer size. Remember, he went over Iraq in 2021. And when he was matched up against Kelly Ringo against Georgia, he beat the brakes off of Kelly Ringo, in my opinion. So Ringo's supposed to be a first-round pick. I take Cedric Tillman here for the Baltimore Ravens. You give them a big body on the outside, and hopefully, they have to pray that Lamar comes back. But if Lamar was gone, I guess I could go all the way down to like Stetson Bennett or some shit, which not terrible. I guess.
I mean, we're kind of sniffing that area now with Hendon Hooker off the board.
Sniffing.
We're sniffing. We're sniffing some Stenson here. So with the Minnesota Vikings pick, I'm torn here because I think I have the position that I want to go with, but then there's a player that I want to go with here. And because we haven't seen a run yet on running back, I'm going to pass running back because hypothetically I think that they could attack this position next round. So I was thinking Kendre Miller here because our sources say that he was sitting out based more on his understanding of where he's going to go in the draft, more so than he's more hurt than it's coming out to be. Obviously, Zach Charbonnet, Roshan Johnson, Izzy Abanikanta are all still available. So I'm gonna punt here, and I'm gonna go with Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed's best comparable player, Stephon Diggs. Where did Stephon Diggs get cut? Where did he cut his teeth? The Minnesota Vikings. They just lost Adam Thielen. KJ Osborne is what he is. He's a solid number 3 option. I think you bring in Jaden Reed. He doesn't have the pressure of being the number 1 target getter because you got the Jet. Justin Jefferson's there. You also have TJ Hawkinson. You do not need a absolute target hog as your wide receiver too, but I think Jaden Reed has the skill sets. He brings a bunch of intangibles in terms of his special teams ability and his route running ability. Give me Reed here to the Vikings.
Beautiful. Couldn't have said it better myself. We're in that spot where there's not really a ton there at receiver, but I think Reed may be have the most upside. He's also best comparable to Stephon Diggs, so enter Stephon Diggs Jr. Here he is. I'm looking at Jacksonville at 25. They franchise tagged Evan Ingram. They got Travis Etienne. They got a couple of running backs they like behind him. They don't have any big bruisers. They got Dearness Johnson. Fuck it. Cut him, dude. Come on. Cut him if I give you this guy right here. Pairing these two together, Travis Etienne with Roshan.
I love that. Oh, Johnson. I love that. Love that.
He's played.
Love that pick. I think that's a real NFL pick right there. That's a good pick.
He's played behind the head honcho during college, and Etienne is not built to take on the entire workload through his NFL career. Long lasting. You have a sick duo right here, Roshan Johnson and Travis Etienne in Jacksonville. This would get me all kinds of worked up inside. And Jacksonville, again, they're good at receiver. They could use some depth. They also do have Seth Williams as like their wide receiver 10 right now. So shout out to them for that. But Calvin Ridley, Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, it's borderline to say, okay, well, let's give them somebody that they can just kind of throw in here, like a Raheem Jarrett or Michael Wilson. But I'm going to go running back just to give them some girth and some depth, some real depth. That's not Mekhi Sargent and Cadre fucking Ollison.
Nice. Like that. I like that pick a lot. Could see that happening in real life. And I think a lot of people would run away from Roshan if that happened. I think I would be very much excited to see Roshan go there because I think ETN, he's best when he has somebody that could take the ball, take some carries, some touches away from him. And Roshan's that
Yeah.
type of guy. I love that pick. So with the Giants on the clock, I have to push back the other team builders in the room because they clearly want to go Charlie Jones because they have they go from 6 to midnight when you're talking slot guys. So I have to say, no, we're not going Charlie Jones. We're going to go Jonathan Mingo here. 6'1", 226, 4.46 speed, the second highest athleticism score according to Player Profiler at the position this year. He's flashing green across the board for athleticism score. Best comparable player, Alan Lazard, which I don't think that's going to get people excited, but in terms of the team and what they already have in their roster, this kind of player would be a great fit. So give me Jonathan Mingo here to the Giants.
And again, I'm actually going to run up to the card now. Dalton Kincaid to the Dallas Cowboys. He falls here, and our friend in the chat, our Buffalo fan in the chat, is now Andy Kosielaki Ski.
Oh, baby. And
Butchered
now
that.
I'm up.
I'm sorry. But I'm sniping the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
Dalton Kincaid goes to Dallas and pairs up with Jake Ferguson. They need tight end. They love Jake Ferguson. I will say this in general. They do love Jake Ferguson. Peyton Hendershot's there, and they do have an affinity for Sean McKean. So not that he's the best receiving tight end, but they do like Sean McKean for what that is worth. So I think they like the trio they have. But for this sake, I'm going to roll with Dalton Kincaid, not running back. Not running back.
No. So now I'm up here with the Buffalo Bills. Running back, I think they're okay at running back. I think James Cook and Damian Harris is a sneaky good backfield for a team that rosters and obviously balls out with Josh Allen. So this pick here, the Buffalo Bills are selecting Charlie Football, Charles Jones here. Love the pick. He's basically a souped up version of Cole Beasley. He runs the routes like Cole Beasley, but he's way faster than Cole Beasley. And I do think this would mean death to Khalil Shakur because Charlie Jones could be that best friend of Josh Allen, 4.4, 340, best comparable player, Devontae Smith. I like this pick here for the Buffalo Bills.
That's interesting.
Podium there.
That's interesting. Well, I'm going to sprint right up. I'm on your ass, and I'm going to sprint up, and I'm going to give Kendre Miller to the Cincinnati Bengals because there's questions about Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon's also, I think he's cresting right now. I think he's cresting, and just on the other side going down there, I think he's a year away from that Zeke or 2 years away from that Zeke drop. So Kendre Miller comes in for some relief, and he's 20 and a half years old. Kendre, I think, fits very, very well in Cincinnati. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
I'm sprinting right up behind you here with this.
You are not. You're fucking in a wheelchair.
I am.
You're slowly jaunting.
I just shoved you off the stage as you were just getting the last syllable out on Kendre Miller. Off the board you went. I'm right here getting ready to submit my pick because I'm going running back and I'm not going with the homegrown guy. I'm not going Tajay Spears. Give me Tank Bigsby. I like Spears. I think he's got what it takes to be a pretty good pass catching back in this league, but I want someone with a little bit more size. Tank has that in spades. 6 foot, 210, best comparable player, Damian Harris. I know, again, that's not going to get you all hot and bothered, but when you see his early breakout in his, I think, 3 down skill set, if Alvin Kamara is suspended, Tank Bigsby will absolutely fill in beautifully.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh, you can ask me a million questions.
What? I can ask you a million? Fuck, let's go. Why Tank over Zach Evans? Just because I think Zach Evans has more Alvin Kamara qualities. And so why Tank over him?
Because I think that Tank Tank has ultimately the highest upside. When he came out, ran the sub 4.5 40 at his pro day with that size, I think I'm just a little bit more inclined to take that type of running back. I like Zach Evans, and I think he'll be good in the NFL because, he's not as flashy as a lot of people kind of like at this time where everyone is the armchair scout, but he's going to get what they need in the NFL. If they need 3, he'll get 4 and so on. He's got the athletic, the burst. He's got the speed. I do like Evans. I think he'll be better than people expect, but Tank Bigsby, to me, has that extra level of upside.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. I'll give that one to you.
And takes bigs if he wasn't run out of town by Kendre Miller.
This is my last pick.
This is your last pick. And it's the Eagles again. You had both the Eagles picks.
Yeah, and I took Zay Flowers with the first one.
Yep.
Do I draft a tight end to go behind Dallas Goedert?
No.
Or do I draft a replacement for Jalen Hurts? Maybe like a Stetson Bennett? Is that going to help them win now, though?
No. It's time to get. We all know this guy will be injured by the time we're all trick or treating. This guy will not be on the field.
I'm trying to figure out who would be the best locker room guy for
the best cheerleader.
I just want somebody that's going to fit the best in this locker room. You know, like I want someone who I think is talented, who's going to fit best in this locker room. Kind of, Miles Sanders didn't really have that dog in him. So I want someone who has quick feet, good acceleration, a massive middle frame with a big ass, some big legs, big torso. Somebody that's maybe never carried the load in college despite playing at 3 different schools, JUCO, Tennessee in the SEC, Louisville, never crested, 600 yards in the ground, but 500, 525, 538, 525. Can I get 600? Maybe this year in the NFL. He profiles as a late round back. He's got a little James Robinson to him. And he is the numero uno doge in this class. His name is Tion Evans.
Oh, that diggity.
Tion Evans is going to leapfrog these other cats. This guy named Charbon Zakane, who's on the board right now, he's leapfrogging him. He's going 31 to the Philadelphia Eagles. Tion Evans. Look him up, Google him, YouTube him, film him, run him, walk him, talk him. He's there, Philadelphia. He fits this locker room better than you've ever heard. Tion Evans, Louisville Cardinal, Philadelphia Eagle.
Okay. You had to talk about your guy here, so I'm going to talk about my guy too, and I can't wait because you've been so well behaved all show, Cody. But I know when I drop this name, you're going to berate me a little bit, but that's okay because that's what we do here on the show. You could go in a number of different directions at running back: Tajay Spears, Zach Evans, Zach Charbonnet, Izzy Abanikanda. All of those guys would be pretty good. Get one of them later because you got Isaiah Pacheco at home. What does this team have, Cody, at receiver? They got a bunch of midgets in Marquez Valdez-Scantling, correct?
Midgets and burners.
They got a little bit. They got burners here, but they're all short. They're all little shrimps here. Kadarius Toney, he's not necessarily 5'8". He's 5'11", 193. And I can't wait for you to make fun of me here, but I don't care. 6'3", 205 pounds. He was pretty dominant at his small school. 85th percentile 40-yard, 90th percentile speed score, 88th percentile burst, 79th percentile agility, 96th percentile catch radius. Give me Andre Isovas to the Kansas City Chiefs. They need that big body receiver because MBS is trash. I froze Cody. I have created Cody a frozen. He is a frozen man now. So this is just my show. Cody's done.
You like bad players?
I do like bad players. I do like them. I exclusively like bad players.
I was wondering. I was going to see if you actually thought I froze or not. I
did think for a second. I was like, damn, did he really freeze for a second?
Mid.
You mid froze?
Mid? No. This pick. Mid. You knew I was going to talk shit.
You can talk shit. You can talk shit here. I know you can, but you picked your guy at the end. I'm picking my guy here at the end.
I was gonna say, I love that we finished this out exactly how we should have. It was. Also in the chat, I see here, I was not frozen. I was playing with Matty.
Damn good actor.
Just to make Matty feel some type of way. I was just fucking with him. And Andre Isovich, he didn't have a great Senior Bowl, but he rebounded, had a great pro day. So looks good. And it would be typical Kansas City to do something fugazi at 32. How are they at 32? Oh, no, it's actually 31. I was going to say, how to come up with
31.
Technically 31. Andre Yasovich from Princeton. I don't hate it. I do not hate it, but I'll give it to you. He
I
in
thought
this
about going
format,
Deuce Vaughn here because Deuce Vaughn would be a great little pass catching back.
yeah.
But with all the running backs available, I just felt like let's talk about the receivers that we don't typically talk about.
And that's exactly why I wanted to talk about Tion. So I like that. A couple of surprising picks, I'd say, that did not go. Devon A-Chain does not go. Tyjae Spears does not go. Obviously, the Abanikanda Pro Day kind of vaults him up in a lot of people. Charbonnet. I'm not very high on Charbonnet, but I think there's probably a world for him. Some may have put him over Roshan. Some may have taken him over Kendre. I don't care. Michael Wilson's one that I really wanted to shove in here on the Baltimore pick at 23, and I'm surprised I didn't get around to him through the rest of the way because I didn't go receiver for the rest of the way. So that's one guy that I missed on. Who's somebody on this list that you maybe wanted to add but you didn't get to?
Probably, if I had to talk about someone else, maybe Sam Laporta. We haven't really mocked him much lately, and I think that he's someone that the NFL likes. He's got that upside, and he's a good athlete. He comes from tight end U at Iowa, so that's somebody that I wanted probably to talk about. Or even, I wish I just knew more about him, Sean Tucker. I loved Sean Tucker in season, but I got nothing else to talk about him. So I was thinking about maybe shoehorning him in here somewhere just so we could talk about him, but those are the two that came to mind. But we still left a number of good players on the board.
All right, so let's look at this back 20 right here. And I'm going to ask you this question. It's not on the show sheet, not that we have one. But if there was one pick in this bottom 20 here, we're going to stay 11 through 32 here. There's one pick between 11 through 32 that I made that you don't like. You can replace it with somebody who's currently available on the board. Who's one pick that you would replace that I made with somebody who's currently on the board. So you can go Laporta. You can take Tyler Scott. You could put Stetson Bennett somewhere.
Okay.
If you think quarterback belongs somewhere, you get one override and I get one override, but they have to be for inverse. So mine has to be for your pick and yours has to be for my pick.
Fair enough. I will replace Tyrion Evans and I will put in Izzy Abanikanda.
Oh, damn.
That's
right,
what I would do there.
Why is that that's a beautiful fit? Why is that a good fit?
I think it's a good fit because he was very dominant in college. So he's competent at the position, which I don't think you need someone who's necessarily like going to be special at running back. I think you need somebody who's going to get the job done. Israel Abanikanda proved he did that. He could do that at Pitt. Really looked good at his pro day. So I think, he's got the size to be a full down back, 3 downs, all that good stuff. I think that for this offense, a team that doesn't need a home run hitter, this guy could hit home runs by just staying within himself. His skills.
It's a great duo too for the likes of him and then Kenny Gainwell. It sells a lot of speed.
Yeah, it is.
With him well and Hurts. I'm kind of go through here. I think he did a pretty good job here drafting. So I don't know if I have many replacements. Maybe Stetson Bennett for Andre Yasovich. Patty Mac's been dinged up. So no, I'm just kidding. The one player that I think I'm going to take off of this list. I'm gonna take you did pretty good, man.
It was not bad. I did okay. I felt good about it. It felt good like in my heart.
I'm taking Charlie Football.
Okay.
And I'm replacing him in Buffalo. I want to go Tyjae Spears.
See, I don't think Tyjae Spears is as good as James Cook.
I know, but don't you think it'd be a good duo?
I think it's more redundant than a duo.
All right, well, let's go PPR then. I'm going to go Xavier Hutchinson.
A little size, a little extra size.
PPR action because they're talking about this Gabe Davis thing. They brought in Khalil Shakir. I wasn't very happy with Khalil Shakir. I'm going to bring in Xavier Hutchinson, put him at 28, and give them another meaty target monster in the middle of the field. So then in fantasy, man, we just get maybe a little good 80, 90 targets out of Xavier Hutchinson. Anyways, it's been an hour and 8 minutes. I appreciate you guys all hanging out with us. You can look through this mock draft. I'll make sure the boys get it posted up on the Twitter and share it for a fantasy-only NFL mock draft. Make sure you click that like, click that subscribe button. Matty, do you got anything coming up this week? You got the game plan, you got trade gods, you got anything else you want to plug away?
So definitely want to plug the executive Patreon. Cody and I are going to be bringing that fire in the offseason. It's only going to rev up as we get closer to the season. So want to shout that out as many times as I can. The executive on Patreon, the game plan each and every Saturday, the trade gods with my man Jason Allwine on Thursdays. And I'm coming back for another mock draft live with player profile today's own Jack Kavanaugh on Tuesday. Very excited about that.
There we go. Do you know what kind of mock that's going to be yet?
Nah, I never know beforehand. I like to just jump in it.
Jump in it.
Jump right on in.
Stay ready. Stay ready so you don't got to get ready. That's how it is over here. Appreciate you guys all tapping in. Click that like, click that subscribe, like I said, at Matty Kiwoom on Twitter, at Carpentier NFL on Twitter. The executives, patreon.com/executive. We got the Players Lounge we're going to be recording for the next couple of weeks. We got the NFL draft coming around the corner. The NFL draft guides coming out soon. The game plan's on Saturday. Trade guides is on Thursday. The future cast is on Friday with Nate Liss. We got the content pumping at Player Profiler on YouTube and on the podcast channel. Make sure you click that like, click the subscribe, and also subscribe to all of the podcast channels on the podcast network. Matty, let's have a goddamn good week, brother.
Have a good week. Cody cannot wait. Let's get up. Let's get up for it.
Peace.
Hey, you like that video? Be sure to subscribe and activate those alerts so you get notified as soon as new videos drop. And be sure to check out playerprofiler.com. We have all the tools for you to dominate every type of fantasy league. We have a draft kit, Dynasty Deluxe, data analysis, DFS Dominator, and don't forget the player rankings to rule them all.